study of early human societies provides insight into the foundations of social organization, economic systems, and leadership structures that influenced later civilizations. Primitive communal societies, which existed before the advent of class-based social hierarchies, were characterized by collective ownership of resources and cooperative labor. Early tribal leadership emerged within these societies as a means of coordinating group activities, resolving conflicts, and ensuring the survival of the community. Understanding these early systems helps contextualize the development of more complex political and economic institutions that followed. 1. Characteristics of primitive communal societies. Primitive communal societies were the earliest form of human social organization existing before private property and class divisions. These societies are generally associated with hunter-gatherer and early agricultural communities. Their key features included collective ownership of resources. Land, tools, and food were owned and shared by the entire group rather than by individuals. The idea of private property did not yet exist in the way it does in later historical periods. Subsistence economy. People primarily engaged in hunting, fishing, gathering, and later simple farming. There was little to no surplus, and production was aimed at immediate consumption. Egalitarian social structure. Since no one owned more than others, economic and social equality was maintained. Status differences were based on skills, age, or experience, rather than wealth. Kinship-based organization. Societies were typically structured around extended family units or clans, which provided support, labor, and security. Cooperative labor. Work was divided among members according to age, gender, and ability, ensuring efficiency and fairness in tasks like hunting, gathering, and child rearing. These characteristics suggest that primitive communal societies operated on the principle of mutual aid, with group welfare taking precedence over individual gain. Number 2. The role of early tribal leadership. Despite their egalitarian nature, primitive communal societies still required leadership for decision-making, conflict resolution, and group coordination. Early tribal leadership did not function as a centralized authority, but rather as an advisory or coordinating body. Key features of early leadership included consensus-based decision-making. Leaders did not rule by coercion, but instead sought group consensus. Decision-making often involved councils of elders or influential members. Leadership by merit. Leaders were chosen based on their experience, wisdom, bravery, or skill in essential activities like hunting, warfare, or negotiation. Temporary authority. Leadership positions were not hereditary or permanent. A leader might gain influence in times of crisis, but return to being an ordinary member afterward. Spiritual and ritual roles. Shamans, priests, or elders often played dual roles as spiritual guides and advisors in political or social matters. In these societies, leadership was seen as a functional necessity rather than a means of accumulating power. A leader's influence depended on their ability to contribute to the group's well-being rather than their wealth or lineage. 3. The transition from primitive communal societies to more complex social structures. Over time, changes in subsistence methods, population growth, and technological advancements led to the transformation of primitive communal societies. Several key developments influenced the transition. Domestication of plants and animals. The shift from hunting and gathering to agriculture created food surpluses, allowing communities to grow larger and more stable. Emergence of private property. As people began cultivating land and accumulating resources, disparities in wealth and power emerged, leading to the first signs of social stratification. Specialization of labor. With surplus production, certain individuals could focus on specific trades, such as pottery, weaving, or metalwork, leading to economic differentiation. Formation of permanent settlements. The rise of villages and towns required more structured governance systems, shifting leadership from informal tribal authority to more formalized roles. As these changes occurred, early tribal leadership evolved into more hierarchical structures, paving the way for chiefdoms and eventually early states. Let me know. 4. Case studies of early tribal leadership. Different regions of the world provide examples of how tribal leadership functioned within primitive communal societies. The San people of southern Africa, the San or Bushmen, are one of the oldest surviving hunter-gatherer societies. Their leadership is based on age and experience rather than coercion. Disputes are settled through discussion, and decisions are made collectively. This indigenous society had a system of leadership based on councils, where representatives from different clans made decisions collectively. Women played a crucial role in selecting leaders, showing an early example of participatory governance. Australian Aboriginal tribes. Aboriginal societies operated with decentralized leadership, where elders guided the community through spiritual and practical wisdom rather than direct control. The Nuer of Sudan. This pastoral society had no formal centralized authority, but relied on clan-based leadership. Tribal elders and warriors held influence, and disputes were often resolved through mediation rather than force. These examples illustrate the diversity of early leadership structures, which functioned primarily through consensus, wisdom, and social influence rather than strict hierarchy. Primitive communal societies laid the foundation for human social organization, emphasizing collective ownership, cooperation, and egalitarianism. Early tribal leadership emerged as a means of maintaining order, resolving conflicts, and guiding the group, but it was based on merit and consensus rather than inherited or coercive power. As societies grew and became more complex, leadership structures evolved, leading to the emergence of chiefdoms, monarchies, and states. The study of these early forms of governance provides valuable insights into the origins of political power, social cohesion, and economic organization in human history. Understanding primitive communal societies and early tribal leadership helps us appreciate the deep-rooted nature of cooperation and shared responsibility in human history, while also highlighting the social forces that eventually led to the stratification of power and the emergence of structured political systems.